Good evening. Welcome to Opportunity St. Paul Fall 2001 Kickoff. I'm excited to be with some of you. I have our partner organizations here with us at Gloria Day, and I know that you are all with us out in the streaming world and able to interact with us via the chat box. Phil Romine is monitoring the chat box, and we're excited to have you join us tonight via streaming. We hope that this is the only time we have to do it this way, but if we have to in the future, this is a great test run for us. Tonight, we're going to hear from our partner organizations and hear about all the amazing volunteer opportunities that are coming your way for fall 2021. But first, let me take this moment to introduce our Executive Director of Interfaith Action, Ms. Randy Roth. She's going to share some words of welcome and encouragement. Randy, come on up. We're all wildly applauding here.
Yes. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. It's great to have everyone together, and it's great to see you. I'm really glad we're together, even though it's a hybrid of in-person and virtual. Interfaith Action believes that opportunity grows and poverty recedes when people of faith commit themselves to making a difference. For those of you who are already OSP volunteers, welcome back. OSP partners, welcome back. For those of you who are with us for the first time tonight, we hope that tonight inspires you to join OSP. Sarah will explain how to do that later in the program. And know that all of our partners are working hard to try to get us all back to work in COVID-safe ways. But let's step back, especially for the people who are new, and say, where did OSP come from? It's nice that it's been going on long enough that you really have to go back to the beginning to think about it. People of faith at a former Council of Churches, St. Paul Area Council of Churches, that is now Interfaith Action, took deliberate time to focus on understanding how our community is in a state of emergency. They looked at lots of data, but one statistic maybe is enough to sum the whole thing up, that at that moment, and I think still, 72% of children in the St. Paul Public Schools were eligible for free and reduced price lunch. That says volumes about how much food is in the house, how the families are struggling, and all the other housing and healthcare and earning challenges that go with it. They led a strategic plan that pulled on the knowledge of community stakeholders, and one of the important things that they heard is this. Alex Cirillo, who was then head of the 3M Foundation and was inches away from becoming a Jesuit priest when he decided to become a scientist instead, said to the strategic planning group, the thing we always leave on the table in the fight against poverty is the untapped labor source of volunteers in the faith community. Tens of thousands of people in the East Metro who once a week don't just say they're willing to be part of the solution, they pray in their own way for a way to be part of the solution. So the question became, how can faith community volunteers who really want to make a difference be mobilized to be truly effective in boosting their neighbors' stability and economic mobility? We launched into a design year of a community design project. We did our best to kind of pencil out a first draft of how this might work. How might it work to mobilize teams from houses of worship to do truly effective work to help their neighbors? So we penciled it out, and then we invited in a community design team of people from houses of worship, community workers, volunteers at nonprofits, staff at nonprofits, people from philanthropy, all around the table, and said, here's our design, poke holes in it. And they did. They ripped it apart, and we redid it. And just like rinse and repeat, we did that over and over again until the community members said, we think it works. We think we're there. Then we went through a process of selecting community partners. We had those same community members nominate who's making a difference in your community in a way that really boosts the economic mobility of your neighbors. And about 60 nonprofits were nominated. We met with them, we looked at their data, we analyzed what they were getting done, and we chose the partners who will be here tonight to tell you about their work. So then we wrote a handbook about how communities can undertake this work themselves. The handbook is called Abiding Poverty is an Offense to God. We have to do something about it. So if you look at what this program involves, it is committing yourselves to doing the work, tutoring once a week, job coaching once a week, whatever you choose, and being and learning community together. You're going to learn about all of it tonight, and then you get to be a part of it. Welcome.
Thank you, Randy. I appreciate that introduction, and it is wonderful to have a history behind it. And it is just wonderful to have 8 partner organizations here represented for your choice in where you want to serve. And you don't have to choose just one partner organization. You can choose to serve at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Your time is valuable, but we also provide valuable volunteer opportunities. And as many opportunities as you'd like to commit to, you can. And so tonight, we'll hear from each of those partner organizations, and it is a joy to be able to share two programs of Interfaith Action that have been partners with Opportunity St. Paul since the beginning. Kelly Miller, our director of the Department of Indian Work, was unable to be with us as they are kicking off the DIW Crop Walk tonight. And that's another opportunity you can find more information about on our website, interfaithaction.org, about the Crop Walk and participating in that fundraising activity coming up this fall. And so I have the honor and privilege to talk a little bit about the Department of Indian Work, otherwise known as DIW. And they have 4 main programs which help serve the American Indian community on the east side. First is the emergency services. They provide the food shelf, clothing closet, and referral services for the American Indian family communities in pretty much any needs that they have. And I've been down in our food shelf at our Summit Avenue location, and that is a family. It is a community. They always need help. Shelf stocking, shopping, delivering, both holiday food baskets when they do it in Christmas and around Easter. They always need the help in the food shelf. So if you're able to volunteer there, they are most willing to have you join them. We also have the American Indian Youth Enrichment education piece, after school and summer programs, which provide indigenous, cultural, and health and literacy services for our younger generation. So they are able to learn and pass on the cultural education that their elders have for them. Another amazing program that DIW has. During COVID, we were connected and asked to become the COVID community coordinator, so connecting the Minnesota diverse communities to COVID testing, vaccination, and other resources. We're still manning the COVID hotline and helping to provide vaccine testing locations and vaccine events for the American Indian community. We also have the diabetes prevention services, family education, food demonstrations, youth food education, and community healthy food diabetes consultations, otherwise known as FEDS. And they also will have volunteer opportunities available for them as well. In your packet that you were emailed, the handbook of all the opportunities for DIW, please take a look at it, look over about the different ways in which you could help and volunteer at DIW. And you can always contact Teresa Halverson-Lee for more information about how to get connected with DIW. Our second Interfaith Action program is Project Home, and it is my honor to introduce my colleague, Sarah Legal, to come and share about Project Home.
Thank you, Sarah. So glad to be here tonight. Thanks for all of you online joining us. Many of you might know this, but Project Home, due to COVID, like many of the organizations here tonight who partner with us, has had to change drastically our model. And normally we would be in many of the area faith communities serving families who need shelter, but because of COVID, we're unable to do that right now. Thankfully, there has been a little bit of a silver lining to this crazy, overwhelming pandemic, and we have built a wonderful new partnership with the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, and we are leasing some space at what's called the Provincial House, and that is located right near the St. Kate's campus on Fairview and Randolph, and we just finished up our statistics from the previous year, and they might blow you away if you've heard me speak before. But last year, even though in the middle of all this chaos and moving around and finding a new home, we served over 107 families, including 219 children last year. Our shelter beds were used over 20,000 times. We actually grew over the pandemic, and now we can serve up to 30 families. And so even though we're not in our current faith community sites, we still need your support and help at the shelter. We have in-person volunteer opportunities if you're fully vaccinated and comfortable coming in wearing a mask for a shift. And we also have remote opportunities. In-person opportunities, it's great for one person or two people if you're kind of in a COVID pod together. We have lots of donations that we still receive that need organizing and cleaning and putting away and tagging and that sort of thing. We get lots of donations that are basic needs donations, but also for families when they're moving out. We have a little dignity store that the families can come in and shop from. So we always need help replenishing that and keeping it up and keeping it tidy and organized. We're also, we just did a little test run of this in August with some wonderful volunteers from several congregations, and we hope to kind of keep it going again this fall. We started having weekend meal and activity teams. So if you're interested in coming in maybe on a quiet weekend and helping, we need teams to come in, just 2 to 4 folks to come in and help staff with the lunch and the dinner on Saturdays and Sundays. Set up tables, or not set up tables, but set the tables for the families, help serve, and then clean up afterwards. Our dining room is a wonderful big space, and each family has their own table, and they're all set 6 feet apart. So it's a nice, safe, wonderful space to have meals at. Remote opportunities too. We're always looking for folks who will consider doing drives for us for needed items depending on the time of year. We're coming into winter, so we'll be having a winter gear drive for items needed for specific families, specific sizes of boots and hats and scarves and jackets and things like that. So I just wanted to share those things with you quickly and say thank you so much for all your help in the past. And if you're interested in volunteering with Project Home through OSP, you can get a hold of Phil or Sarah, or just hop right on our website at interfaithaction.com. So I'll turn it over to our next partner. Thank you. Oh, it's back to you. Sorry. It's all good.
And that's interfaithaction.org. .org. And you can get a hold of either Sarah's. It's Team Sarah here at interfaithaction.org. And our next speaker is Miss Caitlin from Common Bond Communities. Common Bond has been with OSP since the beginning, like all of our partners, and we're excited to hear what they have planned for study buddies for fall of 2021. Come on up, Caitlin.
Thanks, Sarah. And thank you all for being here with us virtually today. Really appreciate all of the people that are interested in volunteering and working, especially with youth in your community. So I am with Common Bond Communities. We are an affordable housing organization that also provides services for residents that live in our buildings. So we do have a very large youth program at our sites. We're specifically recruiting for volunteers that are interested in our Study Buddies program. So as part of our Study Buddies program, you would be paired up with a student in elementary school, so 1st through 6th grade or so, and you'd work with that student throughout the course of the year. We focus a lot on literacy skills, also social emotional learning, and mentorship skills as well. So there's really a component to really build a relationship with a youth over the course of a school year and really see that youth develop and change both in their literacy skills and also with their social skills and other things as well. We've had a great opportunity to partner with OSB for a long time and actually have quite a few current OSP volunteers that have been with their student for multiple years and have really seen them grow and change over time. And we even have some volunteers that have continued as their student graduated from our program, which ends technically in 6th grade, but are now helping them in our teen program as well. We are going to be starting off virtually this year with the hopes to at some point transition into in-person so you can meet your student in person. We had great success with our program last year. It was 100% virtual for the whole year. At different points throughout the year, we did have the kids physically in the physical program space with our staff members. What's unique about our program is that all of our kids live in the same building as the program space and where all of our staff members are, because our program spaces are in like the basements or the common spaces of their apartment building. So a lot of our youth will still physically be there. We just don't have the capacity right now to have all of our volunteers come back yet. I do want to say, like, last year was the first year we've done anything like this, and I was a little skeptical about virtually volunteering and working with kids online, and it was actually a really big success, and we have quite a few volunteers that just even started with us last year that are continuing on with us this year with their same buddy, who some of them still haven't met in person. Some of them were able to meet actually in May, meet their buddy in person for the first time. And it was really, really cool to see that relationship that you can build even online with a student and how that can really correlate into being, to developing and really being a strong connection for that year with the student or for multiple years. So if you have any questions, if you look in the packet that you have there, my contact information should be in there along with our website where you can read a little bit more about what the Study Buddies program entails. So I just want to thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Caitlin. And as Caitlin said, we're all in flux, and it's going to look different maybe in 3 to 4 months and different maybe in 6 to 9 months. So flexibility is the name of the game again this year, and we're excited that our partners are flexible, and we hope your volunteering and our volunteers will be flexible as well. Daily Work is another organization that has been with OSP from the beginning, and they focus on working with adults in job coaching and other areas. So please welcome Judy to share about Daily Work.
Thank you. So I'm Judy Sharkin-Simon, and I'm the Volunteer and Operations Manager at Daily Work, and we would love to have you volunteer with us so that everyone in our community can work, grow, and thrive. Working one-on-one, helping around 200 people a year mitigate systemic barriers to work is what Daily Work does. Like Asiat, who's been trying to fill out an extensive United States Postal Service application on their phone. Can you imagine? They don't have a computer at home, and they didn't understand all the questions because English is not their first language. So our job coaches and our case management folks help them navigate that on the computers in our office, get them a computer that they could use at home, and help them navigate the language. Or like Ahmed, who was told he should show up for work as a cook, only to learn after being asked to purchase one of the restaurant's t-shirts that it was a 3-hour trial and he would not be paid, reimbursed for the shirts, or given the job. Daily work to help him address the situation and learn how to navigate it against it for future scenarios like that. And our greatest joy is exemplified by somebody like BJ, who came into our office a couple of weeks ago to thank us for helping him find a job as a cook at a popular downtown restaurant. And he came in to say he was loving it. He loved his coworkers, and he was just thrilled to have a job and be in our help in having him located that. So with the exception of 2.5 full-time equivalents, we rely on interns and volunteers like one of you or more of you to facilitate these transformative moments for our job seekers. Our volunteer opportunities are in the packet. We've got everything from helping us with communications to being a case manager to being a board member to helping us wrangle our data so that we can show the statistics of our success. So talk with me, complete the forms that you'll be given through Opportunity St. Paul about one of these opportunities or crafting something that will match your skills, your interests, your time. Like others, we have remote options, we have in-person options, and I would really love to talk with you about how you could be part of the work we do at Daily Work.
I love hearing the stories from Daily Work. They share so many hopeful stories and ways in which they've helped folks navigate a tough situation, and community that gathers around Daily Work is amazing. And in 2020, Daily Work and our Daily Work volunteers had the highest number of hours volunteering because they could keep going during the transition, the COVID pivot to phone consultations and online. And some of your volunteers gave hundreds of hours volunteering, and it's just amazing what work they do. And it's just accompanying another human in their life and in their community and their work, and it's just wonderful. Our next partner is Eastside Learning Center. We're going from the adults to the youngest of the kids that we work with. Erin is here to share a little bit about the work that Eastside Learning Center does. Come on up, Erin.
Hello, my name is Erin Simon, and I am here to tell you about Eastside Learning Center. We are looking for volunteers who would like to serve as a literacy mentor and tutor to kindergarten through third grade students. And this is such an exciting time to be a literacy volunteer. We have lots of kids who are so excited to go back to in-person school this year. We had an open house this week, and it was just so full of life and joy and excitement for the coming year. And we have kids who have been experiencing virtual and distance learning for the last year, and there's just so much potential and so much excitement in the next year for learning. So we're really excited to have our volunteers working with these young readers because that is such an important life skill and will serve them so powerfully for everything they have planned for the future. We are really looking for volunteers who want to build a sense of community in their volunteer commitment. We're looking for folks who can commit to 2 days a week for the full school year, work with the same children for the full school year and perhaps even longer. And what that does is it helps you create powerful, trusting relationships with the readers that you are working with. It makes a safe place for them to learn and make mistakes and grow. It helps you know them so well and make it a really powerful time as the two of you do your one-on-one tutoring session together. And it helps us build community within Eastside Learning Center, a group of community members who are really passionate about kids and literacy. We are at Eastside are also the host of the AARP Foundation Experience Corps program, which creates intergenerational relationships through literacy tutoring. So we have a special focus on folks who are 50 and older and connecting with our youngest readers. Eastside Learning Center provides training before you get started and throughout the year. We provide materials and we have staff to support you through each and every step of working with your kids. This year we are going to have in-person and virtual tutoring opportunities. We have 3 schools: Higher Ground Academy, Chelsea Heights Elementary, and St. Paul Music Academy, where tutoring will be taking place in person. And then we have Liberty Plaza After School, which is a housing community that we're doing virtual after-school tutoring. We also have a connection with the School Sisters of Notre Dame. That is where Eastside came from. It was developed by School Sisters. And their passion was to help with education and help women and children. And so those are our roots of where Eastside came from. So it is such an honor to be a part of this OSP community that has those similar values. If you are interested, we would love to have you as a literacy mentor volunteer. We have information on our website, which is eslcmn.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. That was wonderful, and I love to hear about Liberty Plaza, as Liberty Plaza has a special place at Interfaith Action's heart, as it also is one of our dear members' congregation's founding housing center that they worked so hard back in the 60s and 70s to find and help and grow together. And so we are so excited to have partnered you and Liberty Plaza together. And speaking of partners, Reading Partners is another one of our old-time, been with us from the beginning. Brooke Rivers is with us tonight. And they've also expanded in many different ways their way in which they're helping the community. And so let's invite Brooke up to hear a little bit more about reading, tutoring, and literacy for the next age group of kids. Come on up, Brooke.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for being here, and welcome to those in the room and to those online. For those of you that have been part of Opportunity St. Paul in the past, I know that I am a familiar face, and you have certainly heard from me over the years. And for the new folks, welcome. We hope that you are learning a lot, and I really hope that you will take this opportunity to invest in the community through this program. So let me tell you a little bit about Reading Partners. We are a literacy nonprofit very similar to Eastside Learning Center, where we work with young readers, kindergarten through 5th grade. And we partner with schools to provide one-to-one tutoring. We really believe that literacy is the key. Reading is the key to unlocking potential in our students. And we also believe that our community is the key to helping us do that. And so we recruit volunteers, we pair those volunteers to work one-on-one with students for the entire year. What we ask for is 1 hour a week from our volunteers. We provide training, we provide coaching and ongoing support. Through the lesson. This next year, we are starting the year with in-person tutoring. That's a big decision, and we are certainly not making that lightly. We have been listening to our school partners, our principals, our district partners, and they've been asking for us to be in person. So we are taking that to heart, but also with COVID safety concerns at our utmost. So we are asking all of our volunteers to be masked as they are going into the schools, to follow safety protocol. We have lots of that set up within the reading centers. We also know that this might change. So as Sarah has been saying, as others have been saying, we are bending and flexing as we need to throughout the year. But at this time, we are looking for folks that are willing and able to go into the schools and partner with us one-to-one. Like I said, we work with kindergarten through 5th grade, and we work with students who really have the need for extra support with literacy. So if that sounds exciting to you, please fill out the exit ticket and show your interest. You also can pop onto our website to learn more about Reading Partners. And I look forward to seeing you in a reading center soon.
Thank you. Before we jump to our next 2 presenters, they are on Zoom, so we're going to patch them magically into our live stream. But first, I want to share a little bit about restorative justice circles. We started this cohort during COVID, and we have trained over 77-ish folks in restorative justice circle training. And that has been something amazing, and we have worked very hard to have them continue their practice and get more involved with healing circles through our trainer, Brenda Burnside. We're still working with the Ramsey County Attorney's Office and currently even the St. Paul City Attorney's Office to work on getting cases and doing some trial and error with how many cases we can get and things like that. If you were part of one of those cohorts, please do not lose hope. Please continue to trust in the work that we are doing, and we may be having some technical difficulties, but that's okay. We're going to plow on through this. So I am going to invite our next two speakers and introduce them. Our first speaker is from the St. Paul Public Libraries. They have 3 exciting opportunities for our OSP volunteers. He is a familiar face for our volunteers who are back with us. Eric Whalen will be speaking. And then we have Neighborhood House, their brand new volunteer specialist. Shane will be joining us to share what volunteer opportunities Neighborhood House has. Now, if this technology doesn't work very well, I'm getting the thumbs up though from Michael, so it should be working. We'll jump back into the stream and we'll kind of take it from there. So we're going to try the Zoom patch now.
Hello, my name is Eric and I'm from St. Paul Public Library. We've had a very fruitful partnership with OSP over the years. We have 2 main volunteer opportunities right now that are both in person. One is homework center tutoring. We have 5 or 6 locations now that have after school hours where students of all ages can come in and get homework help. Each person usually spends about 30 minutes with a tutor, and then the tutor switches to the next person. And you'll help several people in a shift, depending on what your subject matter comfort is. Some people are more interested in helping college students with writing. Other people love math and science, and so they're great with the high schoolers. Some people are really shine when they're just helping younger kids and more basic homework, and all of it is important. And then the other program is called Reading Together. That is more of an intentional program where you work with the same 1st through 5th grader once a week, every week at the library, and you just focus on reading and literacy. So you might spend 30 minutes reading, taking turns reading, talking about the book, and then you do an activity or journaling, maybe play a game that focuses on literacy. And then you wrap it up and say, it's good working with you, see you next week. And that's available at several different St. Paul Public Library locations as well. And hopefully we'll be able to add some more volunteer opportunities maybe next year. But Homework Center and Reading Together are 2, they're very rewarding experiences, I can tell you from experience. Rondo Library sees sometimes 75, 80 visitors a night. Lots of entire family units show up and all the kids get help. And the parents are so appreciative that volunteers come and spend time with their kids, because a lot of the parents are not as successful at helping their kids do their homework, or the kids don't listen to their parents as much as they do a stranger at the library. And it's just good to meet people from different backgrounds. It's good to get to know a child if you're in Reading Together and see their progress over the school year and build a relationship, because we know those long-term relationships are really the most effective on students building their academic performance. So that's it. I'll leave it at that. Thanks for having us and being flexible to get us in here virtually.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. I hope you can see and hear me. First of all, thank you to Sarah and the tech team for making this happen for us tonight. I would love being here virtual with the rest of our virtual folks out there. As a quick heads up, I am a fresh face to this whole group. So my name is Shane Springer. I use the pronouns he, him, and his, and I am the new volunteer engagement specialist at Neighborhood House. Just a little bit more about Neighborhood House. We're a wraparound agency, so we're here to serve so many different aspects of a participant's life. So we're here for basic needs, food support, housing and security, and a wide variety of youth and adult education classes as well. All of our programs are free to all of our participants, and so many of our programs in the past have welcomed volunteers into those spaces. Like many agencies here tonight, we're trying to do our very best to get folks back into our spaces safely, and that includes our volunteers too. So I'm really going to focus in on a couple of our volunteer opportunities tonight and just kind of outline a couple of those that maybe are coming down the road a little bit further. So the first one that I will talk about is our food market assistant. So in this volunteer role, volunteers are responsible for helping participants receive healthy and culturally appropriate food for themselves and for their family. Due to the pandemic last year in March, we pivoted over to a completely kind of removed process. So essentially in our food market at our two sites, volunteers will help gather the groceries necessary for our folks coming through in a walk-up or in a curbside type environment. So in that role, the volunteer again would be moving through our own food market, building up meal packs for our folks. And if folks do need some special things like diapers or dog food, or if they need a specific type of flour, we try our very best to honor all of those things and add that into the pack. For that food market role, we typically will do a 3-hour shift once per week or multiple if you'd like. And we look to have folks do about 4 within their time, at least 4 iterations of doing a service. But again, we welcome folks to come back as much as they would like to. We have a lot of availability in that space, again, across multiple sites. So that's one of our opportunities. The other one I wanted to talk about is our Skills for Schools preschool class volunteer. So in this role, volunteers will serve alongside classroom teachers to help immigrant and refugee children develop the skills that they need to enter kindergarten. So they will be helping learn the fundamentals. So that could be numbers, letters, colors. At the same time, that's also helping that classroom teacher bringing together exciting games, crafts, and other learning activities. And the core age for this environment is 3 to 5 years old. The time commitment for this one is once per week. Depending on the site, it's 2 or 2.5 hours. So you're basically in one class period with that cooperating teacher again. And we typically have folks work on this for just a little bit longer because you build a little bit more of a relationship with the participants and with the classroom teacher. So that's around 12 weeks, and we can kind of negotiate that based on the start date there too. So those are the 2 that we're really working with right now. Some other opportunities that will be coming online here soon that will be posted to our website are helping out in our adult education classrooms. So citizenship, ELL classrooms and the like, working with our housing stability team that's working so hard, like many of our agencies here tonight, especially over this last year and certainly coming into the future. So we'll be looking for more volunteers in that space. We'll always be looking for folks in our youth literacy program, some more coming that way. Like some other agencies here too, we will be doing a winter gear collection and distribution. So more coming out that way, as well as some internships. One that we just posted on our website is data entry and database interns. So more on our website about that. Other than that, I just want to thank everyone for being here tonight, for welcoming us, myself, and Neighborhood House to talk to you tonight. I talked about our website a lot. That's where we really have our live feed of everything. But at the same time, my contact info will be out there for you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shane and Eric. This Zoom passion worked. Technology at its finest. So those are our OSP partners. Many opportunities, many places to serve. All of your gifts can be used and utilized in many, many different ways. We have talked a lot about ways in which to serve. Now, how do we build community? Opportunity St. Paul builds community through our bi-monthly learning community events, where we gather together pre-COVID time around a table, breaking bread together, having community together, finding out about each other's days, learning about each other's stories, and learning together from experts in different fields and different areas bi-monthly in different learning community events. This year, we're not sure how that's going to look like yet. This was our test to see if we could do something hybrid, something live in person with 8 of my closest friends, and be able to stream it online. So as this is our test, please keep your eyes and ears open for our first learning community event to kick off this fall. More information about our learning community events will be emailed out to Opportunity St. Paul volunteers and can be found on our website at interfaithaction.org. But if you want to, go back and rewatch any of our monthly Zoom learning community events that we did in 2020. Those are available in our video library on our learning community page at interfaithaction.org. We also have all of our learning community events from year 1, 2, and 3 also available on that webpage as well. Those videos are to be used widely, so if you have a Bible study group, a book group, a racial justice group, or any type of group outside of your home that you want to share one of those videos with, please do so. If you need additional resources, feel free to reach out to myself or Phil, and we can help you with that. So more on learning community events upcoming in the next several months. But we will be excited to be together in a safe way sometime soon. I want to take this moment to check in with Phil, my moderator of the chat box, to see if there's any questions. And I want to take this time to have you ask any questions of our partners that they can come up and popcorn up and answer those questions. If not, feel free to use that chat box to leave questions and we'll get back to you individually via email. So I'm going to let Phil gather those questions right now as I talk about how to take the next step to become an Opportunity St. Paul volunteer. You'll receive an email tomorrow of an exit ticket. It's just very simple, just has your name and email, and to choose one or more of the volunteer opportunities at one of our partners. You can even click or check, I don't know, would like to know more information. And we'll reach out to you in the next week or so to have a conversation to find out where you would like to serve and answer any questions that you might have. So Phil, do you got any questions back there? Not presently. So I want to take this time to realize that doing an online live stream doesn't take as long as you think on paper, and give you some of your night back to enjoy a beautiful evening with your friends and family safely. And I want to thank you for taking time to be with us virtually and in person, Opportunity St. Paul partners. It's always good to be with you. And watch for that email, your exit ticket, to tell us where you'd like to serve and how you'd like to help our community. And I want to thank you for being with us tonight, and we'll be in touch. Be well and stay safe. Have a good night.